Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this cycle of the Abyss, floor 12, first chamber, we have the Ruin Guards and the Raiders in the first half. In the second half, we have 3 Whooper Flowers, 3 Abyss Mages, and a few Eremites. So now, as we are doing the first chamber, these Ruin Guards show up one by one. They have this electro buff in the middle of the floor, so you have to debuff them, and that's about it. In the second part, the hover flowers come first. After you deal with them, the abyss mages spawn. They spawn pretty far away from each other, so at this stage, if you're using Kazuha or Sucrose, it will benefit you a lot. You can group them up, you can easily destroy their shield, and after that they might spawn, which you don't have to worry about them being apart because they will keep chasing you, so you can use that to your advantage. It would be very useful if you can get your characters burst up while going to the second floor, because this second chamber is, well, it's pretty high DPS check. In the first part of the second chamber, we will have one electro samurai and 2 mini samurais, right? After that, there will be the new enemy, one pyro big bird and a huge scorpion man, electro infused. These guys stagger you a lot, do a lot of damage, and if you're like not careful, they can literally one-shot your character. Also, they have a pretty high hit point. I don't know exactly how much, but they are extremely tanky. Like, it feels so, like, it takes so long to destroy their HP, man. So having burst up and ready is going to help you a lot.
Solidify! Everyone on me! Fall in! I will have order! Oni coming through! Stabilize! Moments of birth! This is order. Gather. Rally. Advance. Who wants some of this? Solidify. Coming to be.
Okay, so now we are in the second chamber, and the electro samurai and the 2 mini samurais, well, we have dealt with them pretty much, so there's nothing special to add. After you deal with them, the big bird and the huge scorpion spawn at opposite ends. So if you can position yourself such that you are standing on top of any one of them, it would be useful and save you a lot of time. So just end up, like, try to finish the samurais towards one end of the floor, right? So that way you will have the position advantage. So the scorpion and that bird, they do a lot of damage, so you have to be careful to dodge their attacks. They have different attack patterns. There's a time where that scorpion will constantly attack you with electro. It can go underground, jump on top. Like, it's like, if I try to explain all the attack patterns, it will take a lot of time, so you'll have to deal with them as you go along. But general rule of thumb, just try to avoid their attacks, and they can be dodged, so you can try to dodge them, because unless you're using some sort of a shield, these guys do a lot of damage. For the triple Magu Xingqiu, positioning is very important. if you are not careful, the two of these guys will end up in Narnia while you will be attacking one of them. It's pretty hard to keep them grouped up, and Kazuha or Fenty or Citrus cannot like crowd control them, so you have to play around with positioning. When one of them is charging away from you, try to position yourself such that they will come towards one of the other Magyukenkis that you're attacking instead of somewhere where there is no enemy, right? Otherwise, if they are far apart from each other, you will not have enough time to kill all three. So you have to position yourself such that your attacks are hitting three of them. If you're using something that does not have that much of a reach, so positioning is your best friend over here. And yeah, they do a lot of damage. So nothing to say. This is a pure DPS check.
Solidified.
In the final chamber, first half, we have the Matrix, for which if you have an Electro character, you will be able to stun it. And if you're using a Dendro and the Electro, you can just skip through that reload phase and directly stun it when it's invisible by attacking with Dendro and then Electro, then Dendro. And that's about it. I mean, this guy has pretty high hit points, but pretty easy to deal with if you are able to stun it. Compared to the previous chambers, this feels quite easy, especially compared to the triple Xingqiu. And finally, in the second part, you will have Eremites and the 3 dancing ladies.
Of birth. It's showtime! Bam!
The 3 dancing ladies spawn in a triangle manner. They do not spawn pretty far apart from each other, but after this, they summon their familiars, their crocodiles, the birds, and all that stuff. They kinda back out and slowly end up quite far away from each other. If you are using Bendy or or Kazuha, you'll be able to group them. Otherwise, you'll have to deal with them pretty separately. Also, one like strategy would be to destroy their familiars, because then they end up stunned for some duration and you can deal a pretty high amount of damage to them during that phase. So I feel that's a pretty safe bet. Just destroy their familiars and then slowly, and then like finish them off. Yeah, that's it.
At least you were here to watch.
Witness my great undertaking. Everyone on me! Advance! Who wants some of this?
Okay, as for themes, for the first part, obviously it suits Hutao and Yelan very well. For the second part, Zhao is like a top contender. It's tailor-made for him. Zhao can clear this pretty easily. If you have a build Zhao, just use him. He will clear this easy second part. For the first part, Al-Haytham is also pretty good. And that's about it, really. And in terms of some team suggestions, I can say you can use Sucrose National in the first part. In the second part, you can use Aggravate Nahida. You can even use Nilo Bloom now that I think about it. Nilo Bloom will clear that pretty easy.
Oh, ow.
And
Where did that come
as
from?
far as DPS is concerned, yeah, this is pretty high DPS check. So whatever characters you're using, they have to be pretty well built. Unless you're using Hyper Bloom, which I mean, that's just a broken team comp without much investment that does a lot of damage. So you can use that as well. And that about does it. If this helped you, do leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It would mean a lot. Thank you for watching.